All right, let's come back and take a look at ile vita iko hapa Kenya, local dailies. Exactly 6:15. These are the headlines. Log in their eyes. The Standard decides to go after the two gentlemen who decided on one day. Walikuja tu wakasema leo ni kuchoma Senate, National Assembly, nyinyi ndio mnafanya hivi. Ni kama tu walikaa tu mahali wakasema hawa watu wametulia sana.
And it started last week during the devolution conference, yes. One after the other. President started, and the next day, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga kaendelea. Hiyo ilikuwa kama trailer.
Alafu wakakuja wakaita watu kujeni sasa tuwaambie. So this paper asks, who's the most corrupt? Ruto's tirade against MPs has been branded sheer hypocrisy. The executive's rot dwarfs the spec in parliament, from dodgy tenders at KEMSA to substandard fertilizer crippling farmers, to hush-hush oil import deals. The scandals trail his administration like a shadow. Even his allies' handouts at churches and stadiums clocked as generosity, reek of patronage politics. For many Kenyans, the president has squandered the chance to make corruption a high-risk venture. As promised, instead his finger-pointing has exposed a government gorging on the vice it condemns, and all this time being urged on by his bosom friend Raila Odinga. And they've given quite some coverage of this story, pages 6 and 7 of this paper, including the fact that yesterday, after he accused Parliament of corruption, he went ahead and issued a very special communication from the presidency. He's come up with a new multi-agency body to fight corruption. Kumbuka kuna EACC, kuna DCI, lakini ame come up na ingine mpya ya kupigana na ufisadi. Alafu interestingly, he did that and left for Japan. Jibakini na asire yenyu pigeni kelele hapa yameenda Japan.
I'm out.
I'll come deal with you later. So that's the main story on the front page.
Other stories still on the Standard, some interesting stories for you. Now this particular week is interesting as primary school and high school students are set to return to school next week. First year students are reporting this week, and the major news they're saying is varsity students in limbo amid lecturers go slow. This is on the page 16. They say public universities are reopening for new academic year amid a financial administrative crisis, frustrating students and staff. Some students are yet to know their new fees after the government announced a reduction of between 15 and 40% of tuition fees that will affect over 500,000 under the new funding model. So they're still in limbo even as they report how much are they paying, the pia maneno ya help. There is some of the news in the insert of Standard on the back page. Boniface Mushiri, how football got me out of poverty. Just taking a look at some of the players of Harambee Stars, even as Chan continues. Yeah.
And it's actually a very good opportunity for many Kenyans and football fans to know who plays locally. The local Harambee Stars players. Tumezoea wale superstars, those who play internationally. Mariga, Wanyama, and when they come back home, they join the national team. Yes. But most of those who are playing now, locally bred and players who play in the local leagues, at least unajua watu wawili.
So at least you definitely know Ryan Ogama at least.
Alafu wananyoa nywele wote same, wanakaa tu same. That's the Standard.
Ruto achokoza nyuki.
Gazeti la Taifa Leo. Wabunge wasusia kikao cha asubuhi. Maseneta wataka spika agize rais kufika mbele yao kufafanua madai. Wamesema akuja hapa aseme. Na kama hao maspika hawataweza kumuita, hao wenyewe wamesema, kuna mmoja alisema tutaonyesha kivumbi. Tutaonyesha kile tulionyesha Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes. And actually, still on this, what the JLAC, Justice and Legal Affairs Committee Chair, Gitonga Murugara, alisema the committee did not solicit and did not receive any inducement of any kind of whatsoever from any member or quota as alleged or at all. Anataka, he dares Ruto to name MPs in the 10 million Kenyan shillings bribery allegations.
Ile anti-money laundering bill.
To evidence.
Wabunge na maseneta walionyesha hasira kwa wazi kufuatia kauli ya Rais William Ruto ya kuwahusisha na ufisadi, na wakasusia kikao walichokipanga kujadili miswada muhimu ya serikali jana asubuhi. There was to be a special sitting, they did not show up. Bunge la Kitaifa lilikatiza kikao chake cha asubuhi kwa kukosa idadi ya kutosha ya wabunge licha ya kuwa na ajenda muhimu za serikali. Vidokezo zaidi kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili wanasema pale chini, nitaunga naibu mwaka 2027, huyo ni gavana wa Lamu Timami. Kwingineko, JSC atakasa Mwilu, yatupa ombi. Na masuala ya nchi za nje, Burkina Faso yatimua afisa wa UN. Pale juu gavana wa Kericho, Seneti kujadili gavana leo. Sasa sijui kama watakubali kujadili haya. Waliambiwa hapa ndio wanaokota fedha nyingi. Magavana wakiletwa katika kesi za kuondolewa kazi, hapa ndio wanapata pesa mingi. Maseneta kuamua mfumo watakaotumia katika kesi ya Mutai. Sasa hapa this guy might actually be a victim.
Yes.
Hasira za mkizi. Inaitwa nini? Hasira za mkizi?
Nimesahau.
Sasa na ndio ulitoka shule juzi, sahau nani atakumbuka. Gazeti la Taifa Leo.
Pale juu kuna a very interesting story ilisumbua watu jana. Nasema kero mtandao wa tiketi ukikwama. Mtandao wa kuuza tiketi za CHAN wakwama baada ya dakika chache. Now the online slot for buying tickets was opened around 12 p.m. By just a few minutes later, that system had already crashed. And according to the ticketing site MOOC Kasema, they were blaming it for the bots. So they had to actually substantiate, are these bots buying or are they genuine people? So they had to, again, now start posing. Now wakatoa a statement apologizing to the real fans. Wakasema, tuieni radhi because you're trying to sort this out.
Okay. How many days to the game?
This game is happening on Friday. The Kenya versus Madagascar. The game.
First semi-final.
Yes.
All right. Gazeti la Taifa Leo. Daily Nation.
MP's bribery scandal crisis, and I love the fact that they have broken down this particular story. So the president tasks the multi-agency team to fight corruption and economic crimes. So first off, the president forms this multi-agency team, and then the furious MPs cripple House business and paralyze committees in show of defiance. Then the lawmakers threaten speakers with no confidence votes to force them to act. Really forcing the hands.
Sasa hiyo action hiyo ndio shida hapo. Action waambia speaker ni uite president akuja hapa tuambie. Speaker sijui kama wata survive.
And now the MPs are also calling for the president to submit evidence to charge this rogue members of parliament. Wait to see if that is going to happen after the president gets back from Japan. MPs vote in exercise the power on budget cuts to hit back at executive.
This is what I'm more concerned about, because now it would appear by making those statements, the president and the former prime minister have already created the leverage to negotiate with MPs. Because MPs now are saying, mukiendelea hivyo tutakata hii. Sema bas. Sasa, bas tumeacha hiyo maneno. Utakubali? Wanakubali automatically because they've already been put in a corner. That means president and the former prime minister knew that you are going to place MPs in a corner, then MPs watasema tutafanya hivi, alafu ambia okay sawa, withdraw your maneno. Hakukuwa na shida before.
Yes. Other stories we've taken a look at as well. The Senate has voted on trial of Kericho governor. But there's a very interesting story here. And you, viewer, might be umepatikana na hii. Wanasema Kenyan phone users are touch away from cons. So nearly half of Kenyan mobile phone owners received an extortionist scam call or text message last year. This is according to a World Bank survey. Kenya ranks second most targeted in sub-Saharan Africa. More of this is on page 22. And I'm pretty sure a number of Kenyans have received unaona pale umepata hi Mr. Sijui so and so, I have mistakenly sent 2 million Kenyan shillings. Kindly you do what and what. Yes. That is on the front page of Daily Nation. On the back page, who to watch in Malagasy team as they land in Nairobi. And you know, so many Kenyans are really trying to see how big of a deal is Madagascar as they face, Kenya? And some are saying, Madagascar to
And that's the problem. That's the problem. We are very dismissive of Madagascar. Why? Because we beat Morocco and DRC and Zambia and Angola. Okay, we drew with Angola. Okay, but people are very dismissive. That could come back to bite us.
Yes.
Because according to that very fiery spokesperson for Yanga in Tanzania, alisema mutakiona Madagascar sio mchezo. But there's a story here that I've seen, and this one will cause a lot of problems for many people who are now using this. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board, it's on page 2, has issued a fresh warning against the use of Ozempic for weight loss. I'm sure on social media you've seen this.
Yes.
Many social media influencers are using Ozempic now for weight loss. And this warning is the second time they're issuing it. And this is exactly a year after cautioning that counterfeit and unapproved versions of the drug were circulating in Kenya. The regulator, mandated to ensure the quality, safety, and efficacy of health products, is urging Kenyans to consult their doctors before considering the drug. Soma zaidi, page 2 of the Daily Nation. I know social media, I'm sure you've come across one or two social media influencers who have actually crediting the use of Ozempic for their weight loss journey.
So people are even using it to mint money na kuambia I have a stock.
Chunga sana. Na wakati ni kama unakimbia. Hii story tushaiona, tutarudia tena. This is a big story. It's also there on the front page of the Star. Na nilikuambia, as it continues, President William Ruto is already in Japan. And a picture there of the president as he joined 40 African leaders at TICAD in Yokohama, Japan.
Yes. Something interesting matters climate change, heavy rains. Weatherman warns farmers not to plant yet.
The rains won't last.
Wanaambiwa have been advised not to embark on planting crops as the current rains are inadequate. Hazitawatosha, so msianze kuangalia maneno sana.
Same story on the front page of the People Daily.
Some MPs are irritated. Ruto even has to label them corrupt, yet an array of leaders think the head of state is equally guilty.
And I think I know why they used red, because kuna hii expression utaiona kwa magazeti mengi, pot calling the kettle black.
I've also seen it on the Standard.
So that the word black is in black. So nafikiri wakaona wasitumie black hapa, watumie red, na waseme let's take the word to them. The pot is calling the kettle black, so who's black? MPs are irritated that President William Ruto has labeled them corrupt, yet an array of leaders think the head of state is equally guilty. That story is on page 4 of this paper.
Some big news on the front page. Kenya's fragile calm, how Chan has allayed political tension. It is what I was alluding to yesterday, how
Tanzania may diffuse election politics.
And also how right now you'd think the political temperatures are going down and so much focus is on the Chan, but then the front pages show something else. Speaking of political temperatures, why gospel singer Kigame is eyeing the presidency in 2027.
Okay, Matters Business Daily. It has a picture there of legislators. These are members of the JLAC committee in the Senate. Ruto's bribery claims rattle senators na wamekasirika pale. Wamekasirika wote, wamekasirika. Ujaiona Sifuna na Cherargei wote on one side. They usually argue. But here wote wamekasirika. There common ground here. They finally found common ground in their irritation with the president and the former prime minister. But that's not the main story on this paper. KCB opens talks to acquire 40% stake in Ethiopia Bank, and Kenyan companies continue to make ventures in Ethiopia. Remember, Safaricom is now a major there. KCB is doing the same there. You can read more on the front page of the Business Daily.
A final one on this paper, as we also take stock on matters devolution, but then one of the biggest challenges is underfunding for counties. They say Treasury fails to send cash to counties in July, which is kicking off the current financial year on a trend that could set it up against governors in fights for resources. Watasema, hatuna pesa ya kutosha. Tuangalie cartoon and the caricature